Sakafet YouTube, and welcome back to my channel. Here's a compilation of 7 delicious Caribbean chicken recipes. Hello my darlings, it's so nice to have you back here in my kitchen for yet another amazing recipe. We're jumping straight into it. Over here I've got my chicken drumsticks. I already cleaned it with lemon juice, vinegar and cold water. Let it soak for a bit and then I drained off the water, and then now I'm going to season it lightly with a little bit of oil, some freshly grated garlic and ginger. I'm also going to add in some salt, black pepper, some of my spiced Jamaica red seasoning, green seasoning, curry powder, and give that a really good mix. Once it's fully seasoned, we're going to set it to one side to marinate overnight for best results. But if you don't have lots of time, you can go ahead and fry it straight away. So in a large dish, I went in with some plain flour and some corn flour to keep it nice and crispy. And I actually seasoned that with a little bit of red seasoning, which is pretty much an all-purpose seasoning, and some black pepper and mixed herbs. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and just mix that in. Then I'm gonna lightly coat all of my chicken pieces and set it on a plate on a side. So to fry up my chicken, I'm going to use some vegetable oil, and I had my oil heating up while I was breading the chicken in the flour. I'm going to fry this for about 12 minutes on a medium heat. After 12 minutes, this is how it's looking. It looks so good, so crispy. And my husband loves the chicken when it's not covered in heavy breading. So this recipe is perfect if you're the same way. I'm going to go ahead and remove it from the pot and set it to one side while I work on the second batch. I actually fried my chicken in 2 batches. So once I've removed the final piece, this is how it's looking. Oh my, I'm gonna top it off with some fresh parsley. And yes, my darlings, this was dinner already on a beautiful Friday evening. Oh my goodness. Hello my darlings, it's so nice to have you back here in my kitchen for yet another amazing recipe. I really hope you've been enjoying the content that's been coming consistently. We've literally successfully uploaded a video every single day of June. Woohoo! Anyways, if you've stuck it out and you've been here for the entire month, thank you so much. But yeah, let's jump straight into it. So first, I'm gonna work on that homemade jerk seasoning to make that jerk chicken. So as you can see, I've got all my ingredients on screen: onions, garlic, spring onions, browning, sugar, black pepper, lemon, cinnamon powder, nutmeg, all that good stuff. And then I'm just gonna clean everything and put it into my food processor, and then we're just gonna let it blend up for about a minute until it's smooth. Make sure to add a little bit of oil, that will help with blending it up. And I don't really add any salt or seasonings to mine. I prefer to add it to the meat itself and then put the marinade on top. But yes, darlings, once the marinade was ready, we'll set it to one side and we're gonna season up that chicken. As you can see, my beautiful pot of jerk is ready. So I'm gonna go ahead and just add in my clean and washed chicken drumsticks to a bowl. I cleaned it with lemon juice, vinegar, and cold water. Let it soak for a bit before seasoning it up. I did put some slits in the chicken, which will help for all the marinade and all the flavors to go all the way deep down in the bone. Okay, and then once everything was ready, I like to go in with my oil, a little bit of salt, black pepper, mixed herbs. I like to just add in some all-purpose seasoning as well, and I'm gonna add a generous generous amount of my jerk seasoning that we just made. Not really any special amount. I just like to add a generous amount of it. And then we're going to rub it in. Probably add a little bit more because you cannot have too much. And then you can let it marinate overnight, or if you have lots of time, you can leave it for a day or two. I'm only going to give mine maybe a couple of minutes or hours, depends on how much time I have that day. For best results, give it a couple of hours. Once it was ready, I pop it into the oven for about an hour, and this is pretty much how I do my jerk. So once it was fully seasoned, I put it in my baking dish. Oven is preheated to 200 degrees Celsius, and after about half an hour, this is how it's looking. I like to just go ahead and baste it using this turkey baster just to pour all the juices back onto the chicken, and then we're going to push it into the oven again for another 20 minutes, okay? This is pretty much how I do it. 30 minutes in at once, then 20 minutes, and then we're going to take it out so that we can drain off all of the extra liquid so we can make a gravy. So this is it after a total of 50 minutes, 50. And then I'm just going to go ahead and baste it one more time before draining off all of those juices into a cup. We're going to use that to make our sauce later on. Yes, darlings, go ahead and just drain off all of the sauce. And then we're just going to pop it back into the oven to just rest while we are working on the sauce, okay? So this is my sauce in a cup, and then in a pan I went in with my all of those juices. Okay, gonna add in a little barbecue sauce, and I'm also gonna add in a little bit of brown sugar. If you have honey and you prefer that, it's up to you, but yeah, that's gonna give it a nice little sweetness, plus all of those savory flavors from the jerk and the little spice as well. A beautiful balance. Okay, gonna let that simmer on low for a good 3 to 5 minutes, just on low heat. You don't want a high heat. On low heat for 3 to 5 minutes, and once it's reduced a bit, it should look something like this. So flavorful, so delicious. Yes, my darlings, this is pretty much the sauce all done. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and just set it to one side. We're just gonna garnish off our beautiful jerk chicken. It was in the oven, so you know, this is pretty much how it looks. And yes, my love, so delicious, so tasty. Honestly, I make jerk chicken once a week because my son is obsessed with it. It was the first thing he had that had spice, and from since then he can manage a little bit of heat. So yeah, so delicious. Hey darlings, it's so nice to have you back here in my kitchen for yet another amazing recipe. I was doing a deep freezer clean and I found this chicken thighs, and I thought, yes, let's make a juicy baked thighs recipe for my darlings. So I've got my chicken. I already cleaned it with lemon juice, vinegar and cold water. Went in with a little bit of oil, a pinch of salt, some of my spice Jamaica red seasoning, my mixed herbs, some green seasoning of course, and I'm going to add in some lemon juice of course for extra flavor. Then give that a really good mix. You can let it marinate overnight if you have lots of time, but make sure to just at least give it at least 10 minutes, okay? Now, one of the questions I get a lot is what is in the green seasoning? So it's the middle of the video, but I'll show you what it is. And it's pretty much a blend of spring onions, garlic, peppers, all of your favorite seasonings blended up. And this is pretty much what gives you the green seasoning. I tend to do a refrigerate and whatever I have in there like parsley and all that good stuff, I blend it up. And this is pretty much what I use for my green seasoning. But I'll leave a link down below just in case you're wondering what is this green seasoning that TERRI-ANN is always putting in her recipes, okay? So the green seasoning that I added to the chicken, this is how I made it, all right? And also to add, I make a fresh batch of this every Sunday and I pop it into my fridge. It usually finishes within a week because I cook every single day. But if you're not somebody like me that cook all the time, it could last in the fridge for up to 2 weeks. Or if you prefer, you can freeze it in ice cube trays. It's entirely up to you, but it's a really good thing to have in the fridge whenever you're seasoning your meats or fish. So once it's fully seasoned, it looks something like this. I'm using my baking dish and I'm going to go ahead and add just a little bit of oil at the bottom. Then I'm just going to place my thighs in there. My oven has already been preheated to 200 degrees Celsius. I'm going to be baking this for about 45 minutes to an hour on 200 degrees Celsius. I'm going to leave it uncovered so it can get some beautiful color and all that good stuff. And yes, darlings, once it's in, it should look something like this. So delicious, so beautiful. And then I'm just going to pop it into the oven to bake. Once about 40 minutes in, I'm gonna come back and baste it to show you how gorgeous it's looking. But yes, my darlings, this is just so tasty. So after letting my chicken bake for about 40 minutes, this is how it looks. I did go ahead and baste it. So basting is pretty much where you take all those juices and pour it back onto the chicken. Then I just popped it back into the oven for another 5 to 10 minutes so that I could get some beautiful color. And yes, darlings, this is pretty much it. Hello my darlings, it's so nice to have you back here in my kitchen for yet another amazing recipe. Today we're stewing some chicken wings. Now I shared this on my Instagram stories at TERRI-ANN'S kitchen and so many requests. Oh my goodness. So yes, here it goes. I've got my chicken wings and it's already cleaned with some lemon juice and vinegar, removed excess feathers and everything, and I went in with a little bit of oil, some salt, some mixed herbs. I'm also going to add in some freshly cracked black pepper. I prefer cracking it fresh whenever I season my chicken. I'm also adding the Spice Jamaica red seasoning. It's so delicious. Perfect for adding colors to stews and rice and pasta. So delicious. I'm going to add in some curry powder and then I'm going to also add in some of my homemade green seasoning. I just blended up that this morning with onions and garlic and peppers and all that good stuff. Green seasoning changes all the time, honestly. I just love to add whatever I have in my fridge. And then I tried to mix it up with the spoon, but that was not working. So I got some gloves on my hand and then we gave that a really good mix. Once it's all mixed in, set it to one side to marinate overnight if you have lots of time for best results. If not, give it at least 10 to 15 minutes and then we're gonna stew it up. In my gorgeous pot that I got from Lidl about 4 years ago, I went in with a little oil followed by some brown sugar. You can use white, but I love brown sugar. And then I'm gonna let that caramelize. My heat is on a medium to high heat. This takes about 5 minutes. It's a gradual process, as you can see. It goes from like a liquid texture to nice and foamy and a bit dark brown. Don't let it get too dark though, because it's gonna be bitter and then you're not gonna use it, okay? Now, if you don't wanna follow this process, you can definitely just add in some browning to your seasoned chicken, but this process is so easy and I prefer the flavor. So yeah, went in with my seasoned chicken wings. I'm not gonna mix it up as yet. I'm just gonna put it into the pot, cover it up for about 5 minutes before mixing it up. And yes, my darlings, this is how I make my stews and it's pretty much a foolproof method. You cannot go wrong. After about 5 minutes, go ahead and stir it up again. We want all those juices to dry up before we add in any extra liquids. And yes, darlings, the secret to a good stew is allowing it to dry up so that that stew flavor can intensify. And look at that gorgeous color on those wings. Bear in mind, I haven't added any liquid and it's not even cooked yet. It's looking so good. After mixing it in, I did go in with some freshly grated garlic and ginger. This is like my secret weapon now for my cooking. Garlic and ginger, I put it in everything. Oh, so good. I'm gonna cover it up again for another 5 minutes before going in with some tomato puree and water, all that good stuff. And honestly, guys, this stew recipe is so simple. You can make it with your eyes closed. So once my tomato puree and my water had been added, I literally added about 2 cups of water to the same bowl that the meat was seasoned in. Then I poured it in. This was my leftover green seasoning. I love to store it in a glass jar. I also put 1 Scotch bonnet pepper in there. Keep it whole so it's not spicy. And yes, darlings, after about 40 minutes in total, these wings were cooked. I also don't like when my chicken is falling apart, so I always like to just gauge it. Now, for something like drumsticks, it probably will take a bit longer. Wings, they're so tiny and honestly, they cook so quick. I'm gonna garnish with some freshly chopped parsley. And yes, darlings, whenever the parsley comes out, you know TERRI-ANN is done with the recipe, right? I'll also leave a link down below in the description box so you can go to my website to purchase my cookbooks with written recipes. I love that I can show you guys how to make it. But again, you can always just purchase my cookbooks from the link below. I am gonna serve that up up. For dinner today, I actually had some steamed veg, I had some rice, I also had a little bit of peas on the side, and honestly, this was just so delicious. Hello my darlings, it's so nice to have you back here in my kitchen for yet another amazing recipe. We're jumping straight into it. Over here, I've got my drumstick that's already been cleaned with lemon juice, vinegar, and cold water. I did let it soak for a good 10 minutes, and then I'm just gonna season with a little oil, some salt of course. I'm gonna add in some mixed herbs. This is just a mixture of thyme, oregano, and parsley. Then I'm gonna add in some freshly cracked black pepper, as much or as little as you like. Then I'm gonna grate some ginger and garlic. I've been obsessed with these two lately, and it just needs to go in everything. Once my fresh ginger and garlic have been added, I also just like to go in with a little bit of my Spice Jamaica red seasoning. I've been loving the seasoning as well. You can get it on his website, spicejamaicallc.com. And then I'm also gonna add in some jerk seasoning. This is just some jerk paste. And yes, my darlings, once that's in, add a drop of browning for color, of course, and then we're gonna go ahead and give that a good mix. Okay, I know I did not show it in the exact order that I was saying it, but these are the seasonings that I used. Once that's fully rubbed in, I did preheat my oven to 180 degrees Celsius. Let it rest for a bit before baking it, and I'm gonna be baking this for about 45 minutes on 180 to 200 degrees. So after about 40 minutes in the oven, this is how it's looking. As you can see, lots of juices. I am gonna baste it and then set it to one side while we work on the sauce. I will be removing the sauce and adding it a bit later to the sweet chili glaze that we're gonna make for it. But yes, my darlings, this is looking beautiful, and I did bake it uncovered as well. My heat was on 180 degrees. So baste it and then set it to one side while we work on the sauce. That way it doesn't dry out, okay? For the sauce, I did go in with a little bit of butter in a pan, and I just let that melt. Then I'm gonna go in with this sweet chili sauce that I found in my cupboards. I always have lots of sauces on hand, and I always find creative ways in how to just use it in my cooking. But yes, darlings, once I've added the sweet chili sauce, you can add in some honey if you feel like it. It's optional. I'm gonna go ahead and just add in the sauce that was in the chicken that we basted earlier, because I didn't want it to waste. Okay, so go ahead and just add in the sauce to the sweet chili. Let it simmer on low, I'd say, for a good 5 minutes before going back in with those drumsticks that's cooked. And yes, my darlings, mix it in well in the sauce, top it off with parsley, and oh my gosh, this was just so tasty. My kids love anything to do with a glaze. You see, once the chicken is have a little glaze on it, my boys, they go crazy for that. Go ahead and mix it in well, top it with parsley to finish it off. And yes, my darlings, I'm gonna plate it up to show you how gorgeous it looks. I did serve it with some jollof rice and some coleslaw, and this was just dinner. The boys are home on half term this week, and I've been cooking all their favorites because sometimes I don't get to do it. But yes, my darlings, thank you so much for watching, and I can't wait to see you in my next one.
Thanks, Mom.
Perfect. Hello, my darlings. It's so nice to have you back here in my kitchen for yet another amazing recipe. We're jumping straight into it. Over here, I've got some boneless chicken thighs. I actually went ahead and deburned them. Then I'm gonna season it, of course, after washing with lemon juice, cold water, and vinegar with salt, black pepper, all-purpose seasoning, my red seasoning, of course, and then I'm gonna go ahead and add in some mixed herbs. The mixed herbs is a mixture of thyme, parsley, marjoram, all that good stuff. You guys are always asking me, what does the mixed herbs consist of? And then I'm gonna grate in some of my fresh garlic and ginger, because you know the drill, we love this fresh seasonings in there. But yeah, add in some curry powder as well, add in some fresh green seasoning too. Then we're gonna go ahead and mix it up. Now I always find that if you let it marinate, it will have best results, but if you don't have lots of time, give it at least 10 minutes while your oil is heating up, okay? So to coat it, I'm gonna go ahead and add in some plain flour to a baking dish, and I'm gonna add in some cornstarch, season lightly with a little mixed herbs and some of the all-purpose seasoning. This is the Spice Jamaica red seasoning. I love it. You guys see me use it all the time. You could actually purchase it at spicejamaicallc.com. It's so delicious. And yes, darlings, give that a good mix, and I'm gonna go ahead and coat every single piece and set it on a side on a plate, okay? Now that all 6 pieces are coated, it looks so beautiful. I actually have my oil heating up for the past 5 to 10 minutes on a low to medium heat. So now that it's nice and hot, I'm gonna go ahead and just fry this in 2 batches. So I'll put about 3 pieces in the first batch, 3 pieces in the second batch. After about 6 to 8 minutes, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and remove it. It came out so crispy, so delicious. You can see how amazing this looks, right? And the one thing I will say to you, this is so versatile. You could actually enjoy it as is. You can go ahead and slice it up, chop it up, and put it over a rice bowl. You could use it in a wrap. You could use it in burgers. Got so many options how to use these fillets, and oh, so delicious. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the second batch, and once everything was done, I'll show you. But yes, my darlings, this is how I do my fillets, and it's just so versatile, so good. So now that everything is all done, this is how it looks. So delicious, so crispy. And I did use this in some chicken burgers. Oh, do you see how beautiful they look? Let me know if you want a recipe for the chicken burger itself, because yes, I know you cannot refuse that one. It's been such a pleasure having you here, and I can't wait to see you in my next one. Thank you for watching.